Welcome to Takes on Trial, where your bold opinions stand trial before a jury of your peers. I'll be your unbiased and extremely attractive judge for the evening. My name is Danny Farber. Thank you guys very much for being here. We're examining one of America's most culturally relevant epicenters, where adults can attend such hallowed grounds with or without their kids. You've seen them before. You know them. You might be one of them. But should fully grown adults spend their rent money for a day at the happiest place on earth? The plaintiff team, Jacob Hoff and Samantha Greenstone. The bold claim to this court they brought up is adults shouldn't go to Disneyland without kids. Audience, how do you feel about that? Adults should not go to Disneyland without their kid. But for those of you who believe that Disney's magic is for everyone, fear not. The defense, led by Tori Titmas and Michael Cunningham, are here to fight for your right to enjoy Space Mountain judgment-free. Yes, for you guys, thank you. By the end of this trial, the jury, you guys, will get to pick the final verdict. Without further ado, we're gonna take it away. Jacob and Samantha, you have 3 minutes to present your opening statements. Adults shouldn't go to Disneyland without kids.
Disneyland, the happiest place on earth for little-ass kids. A company that strives to provide wholesome entertainment, adventure, and imagination.
To children. There's a growing epidemic of Disney adults. Grown people unaccompanied by minors spending their free time and money on a place geared towards children. Would this be acceptable at the Chuck E. Cheese? Or the local playground? How about the coin-operated rocket ship outside the grocery store?
Families spend years saving to go to Disney, only to spend hours in line behind innumerable Disney adults, trying to fill a void from their childhood, probably caused by line-clogging Disney adults of years past, thus perpetuating a cycle which will inevitably breed Disney adults of the future. Which is not what Tomorrowland intended. I think we can all get behind the idea of staying young at heart, but like the heart, being young is internal and shouldn't have to be expressed through doing activities that are geared towards children.
I liked baby food as a baby, but I have yet to have a hankering for Gerber as an adult.
It's a really solid point.
And who are the weirdest Disney adults of all? The ones who work at Disney.
The fact that we allow our children to hug faceless adults in furry costumes without knowing if it's Jeffrey Dahmer underneath is concerning.
Who chooses to go out in 100-degree Anaheim weather, covered head to toe in styrofoam and fur, for $18.26 an hour? Yes, that's the amount they make. Employees at In-N-Out make more.
And it's against company policy to disclose that you play any of the characters. Instead, you are instructed to say, I'm friends with Pluto.
Imagine, if you will, you're at a social function, and you strike up a conversation with a stranger, and they ask you, what do you do for a living?
I'm friends with Pluto.
I'm friends with some great psychologists. And also, in 1984, some grown woman got beheaded on the Matterhorn. Thank you.
There it is. Thank you. Way to bury the lead there. Thank you very much. The plaintiff side. We will now take it over to the defense. Let's hear it. What do you guys got? Fight.
May I approach the bench?
You may absolutely approach the bench, please and thank you.
Where is the bench exactly?
I think you're standing at it.
I'm standing. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
may I
yeah.
stand?
You may stand.
May I sit?
You may sit as well. Yeah. Both are options available to you.
That was a great argument. I'm going to go ahead and list off some completely random items, okay? Some categories for you. Alcohol.
Sweet. Yeah. Woo!
Yeah, you guys like it. Pirates. Dwarves. Bestiality. Child labor. You might be thinking that these are all random and non-related topics, but this is what an average day at Disneyland looks like. You see, Exhibit A, please.
We're going to take it to Exhibit A on the monitors.
Okay, Exhibit A, alcohol.
Nice.
This drink up here is blue. Okay?
Sure is.
And alcohol runs rampant at Disneyland. You can get it in pretty much every corner of that park. I know from experience.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Pirates of the Caribbean. I've never met a child pirate in my life. Have you?
No.
There you go. Snow White and the Seven.
Snow White and the Seven.
And I know dwarves. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I know dwarves look like children, but they are not. They get very angry if you get them confused. So don't do that.
It's a whole community you're
Unless you're Mike
offending.
Tyson.
Yeah. And then that's a different story.
It's a different story.
Yeah.
Bestiality, and this is the one I really want to touch on because the secret is that Disneyland, well, most of their movies revolve around the topic of bestiality. Please go to Exhibit B, please.
Please clarify your argument further.
I will.
For the court. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast, and clearly by the way that Beast is looking at Belle, he wants to get all up in them guts. That little red rocket of his.
We got one.
He's not a man. He's a dog man. The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh yes, the Hunchback.
Hunchback.
H.
Yes.
There. Yes. That's a beautiful man with a beautiful soul.
That's not the only humping that was done in that movie. His yeah, I'll tell you that much. Look at the way that the gargoyles are licking their tongue. Look at that.
Yeah.
She's a snack. And finally, but not leastly, last but not leastly, whatever the hell. Little Mermaid, please. TLM. There we go.
Sure.
This is the prime example of bestiality within Disney films because look at the way that Eric is looking at Belle. Now, this man is definitely trying to get it all up in. Sushi. He's trying to get that sushi. Trying to get all up in that fish guts. No. And also, can we go to Flounder as well, please? Please show Flounder. The way that Flounder's looking at Eric, you know that Eric probably effed Flounder.
Now, I just want the jury to get out there. The Flounder makes sense. That is a full fish.
And so my point being with all of this nasty bestiality talk is that Disneyland is clearly not a place designed for children because, I mean, let's be real. Kids can't even afford tickets after we got rid of child labor. So, I mean, what are we even talking about here? What are we talking about here?
Yes, you guys.
How do we have, Your Honor?
That's about it. Unless you
Okay.
got
Okay. Let's go through it very quickly. Thank you, sir.
There it is.
Okay. Flashing through. So, Kia just hit it. And happiest place on earth, but only with children. Also, you'd be happy. Here's Miss Grail. She's so happy. Look, happy Disney adult. Good for her. Here's celebrations, birthdays, outfit of the day post. She's crushing it. Food fantasies, childhood dreams. Keep going. Then here we go. We have Melissa and Kevin, Janet and Steve, and Chris and Tim, and Michael and Susan. And they all have their special day here. If you can see, this is happiness in adults. Everyone else goes all over the place. Sucks. Steady. Disneyland steady. Thank you. Dopamine hits, TikTok, tacos, free shipping, drugs, Disneyland at the top.
And where did you report your findings for this graph right here?
My husband's a data scientist. Keep going. And where adults can have fun. Online, in person, that sucks. Online or in person. So obviously we need a place like Disneyland. Keep going. Disneyland. Okay, so we have dreams and inclusivity. Taxes, everybody's got to do them as an adult. But hey, dreams are on the good side of that shit. Keep going. This is a portrait that my future children are going to make for me. Keep going. Oh, shit, that didn't turn out right. But anyway, this guy went for a year straight. This was before COVID, so he got a season pass, and it was a great deal. And he actually cured his depression. Keep going.
Is that a real case with findings and figures?
Absolutely, sir. And some testimonies. Find yourself a real man at Disneyland. Cosmo. If she's not like Minnie, there's no magic. Pete Davidson last year when he had that personality. I already told you about Janet Jenkins, my friend with the twins. And then it's the happiest place on earth unless you have 7 kids, Carol Smith. Okay, thank you. That was great.
Really solid. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Titmas. It's pretty solid. I do need the jury to strike from the record, though, that Ariel is not technically bestiality. It's only half bestiality. So I think we just need to have that on our notes there as we go about our business. Now, we've had 2 very strong arguments here. An opening case for Disney adults, a case against Disney adults. We're now going to open it up to some cross-examination. We're going to fight with words. I open it to the plaintiffs to go ahead, defend your arguments, pick apart theirs. Let's see what happens.
Well, in terms of the dwarves, as we all know from the live-action new Disney movies, the dwarves have been canceled and have now been replaced by Snow White and the Seven Somethings.
Yeah.
On the point of the alcohol, are you aware that your under-the-sea cocktail packs a whopping 2,500 calories for a whopping price of $27.84?
I walked that off with a day at a park.
it's kind of negative, kind of counteracts itself after a certain point in time. Yeah.
So, in trying to defend Disney, I'm confused as to why you bring bestiality, an outlawed practice in every state, into your argument. This negates anybody from going and attending and giving money to Disney.
Rightfully so. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying that Disney made these movies. I didn't make these movies. I didn't make them. Do I look like Disney? Do I look like Walt?
Miss Titmas, do you have anything to rebut as well?
Thank you. I appreciate that. Can we please pull up evidence, What I would show you is that there's a lot of personal people that I don't know that have gotten engaged at Disneyland, which is the happiest day of their lives. Hopefully. Guilty. Kidding. My husband's right there.
We'll give the plaintiffs a second here to rebut against getting engaged at Disneyland. That's a pretty good point there. It's a pretty happy place for adults to go. If children are getting engaged, what does that say about you guys?
Wow. Well, when the thought of getting engaged at Disneyland is quite the opposite of heaven to me. That's my definition of personal hell. Much to run with your analogy of it being heaven on earth, I hope when I get to heaven, it doesn't involve me being dehydrated or sunburnt.
But also, you talk about not having enough water and not having sunscreen. Like, it just sounds like you didn't prepare it properly. That's what fanny packs are for, and you can buy a fanny pack at Disneyland.
Disney doesn't allow outside water in, and they actually sell Dasani water. And Dasani is...
So you've been there?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have children?
I know all about it.
We have nieces and nephews.
I was there as a child.
Define child.
They're partnered with Coca-Cola, and they serve Dasani water, which is dehydrating. It's added minerals to the water to make it dehydrating and make people buy more and drink more. Well, let me ask you this. Adults can have fun in a numerous amount of places, at concerts, at bars, basically anywhere. There's no restrictions where adults can go, but where can kids go to exclusively have fun?
That doesn't seem like what we're debating here, though. We are saying if you can go by yourself, or if you can only go if you have children. And with all due respect, I know a lot of women with 7 kids, and God, they would love to go to a place besides Costco and eat a slushy, hot dog, a pretzel, cotton candy, churro, by themselves.
Settle down in the courtroom, please. Settle down. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you've heard enough of a case here. We're going to move forward in our show. The question to ask yourselves now, as we can pull up that QR code, please, is Disneyland really a place for adults to go by themselves without kids? That is the take in which we are looking at, and this right here is a 21st century moment. Thank you guys for bringing your phones out. That's incredible. We're going to do this the old-fashioned way, the way that my grandma fought for her rights to do so. We're voting online with QR codes and iPhones. Thank you very much. Welcome back to Take on Trial. We have deliberated either side of the coin here. We understood whether or not it makes sense for adults to go to Disneyland without their children. We've heard from the prosecution. We've heard from the defendants. And you, the jury, have voted. We have unanimously decided, with a whopping 59% of the votes, most of you disagree that adults should not go to Disneyland without kids. You think they should go to Disney without kids, which means that our defense wins. Thank you very much to our panelists.